Hello everyone and welcome to another DVD review. Today I watched a film called Badass starring Danny Trejo, and I'll be honest, the only reason I even checked this movie out was because of Danny Trejo. He was actually pretty good in this film. I actually went into this film thinking it was going to be pretty cheesy, pretty just kind of your standard typical action movie, with some drama thrown in there, and I walked out pleasantly surprised. It was actually, a pretty decent film. Not phenomenal or nothing like that, but just kind of a good fun film to sit back, and just kind of have fun and watch. Very entertaining film. The basic concept of Badass is about, Danny Trejo, and he is pretty much down and out on his luck. He had a girlfriend, and he enlisted when he was young, and he listened to the army when he was about 18 or 19 years old, and he was there for about 6 or 7 years, gets back home. The girlfriend now is married and has kids, and so he hasn't been to college of sorts, so now, Danny's trying to get a job, but no one will accept him because he doesn't have a college degree and stuff like that, so he decides that, he's not making any money or anything, had kind of a hard life, so he decides to open up pretty much, a hot dog stand. That's where all his money is coming from. And he works there for a good, 20 years at this hot dog stand. And his life has been pretty mediocre, very monotonous life, until one day he's sitting on a bus and some kids get on the bus trying to take an old man's seat. And these kids are harassing this old man, not Danny Trejo, a different guy. They're harassing an old man, and Danny Trejo decides to step in and change things. And he pretty much, stops the two kids from beating up, not really kids, more adults. Anyways, he stops the two adults from beating up the old man, and he beats up the adults. And since then, he now decides that the cops aren't doing their job in the city he's living in. It's kind of like a reckless city, so he decides to start, liberating the town, shall we say. And he just, he decides to take things into his own hands. That's pretty much the just plot of Badass. I will say the movie is, cheesy at certain parts, but you go into the film expecting that. That's what you're gonna get. You look at the cover of the film, you know what you're getting into when you watch Badass. It is a pretty decent film, though. The weird thing is it's an action movie, but it actually has a little bit of heart to it. There's actually some sentimental value there, especially when Danny Trejo starts. I won't try to give away too many plot points, but especially when he starts to help people out in the film, you'll see that it's more than just an action movie. There's actually a little bit of, soul and heart to it, like I said earlier. No, it's not phenomenal. No, it's not like a great film, but it is. I thought it was a pretty good and a pretty decent film for what it was trying to do, I watched this film mainly because I recently watched Machete, and I kind of wanted to see what else Danny Trejo has done. I believe he was also in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. He's in the remakes of Halloween. He's in, The Devil's Rejects. I was kind of curious to see how his acting was, so I decided to check out Badass, and I was fairly surprised with how decent it was. That was actually, it's kind of, they throw some, comedic, bits in there to kind of, light it up, a very, kind of lighthearted film, kind of, there's some blood in there. There's, some action scenes in there. Pretty much what you're getting into when you watch the film, you're seeing Danny Trejo beat up some guys, liberate the town, It's one of those films you just kind of have fun with. Anyways, that's my review of Badass. Like, comment, subscribe to my page, and I'll see you guys later with another DVD review.